Hello and welcome to the introduction to the Stahl equipment portal. In this video, I'm going to show you the most important functionalities of the portal. The Stahl equipment portal provides companies with a structured, comprehensive overview over all of their equipments, its maintenance status, and inspection documentation. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from anywhere, with all devices that can connect to the internet. So this way, in case of an accident, you can get to the relevant equipment in no time. First of all, you get an account from your Stahl contact person, and then you will receive an email which looks kind of like this. First, it's in German, but below it's in English. And here you have to click on confirm registration. In this case, I will accept. Oh, okay, the password has to be the same. I will accept the general terms and the privacy statement. And now I'm forwarded to the equipment portal right away. I accept once again the terms of use and now I can log in. Okay, now the password was correct. Um, Now you see over here the same view as you have when you first log into the equipment portal. You see the dashboard, which is over here. And first of all, I want to go into my profile, which is over here. Here you can log out, or you can click on your profile, because the first thing you might want to do is change the language, for example. Over here, summation of key figures, you should leave this one the same. If you want the equipments to add up to the sub-level functional locations, I will get to that briefly. Over here, you can change the password, but you also can use the forgot password in the login, which we saw when you log in. You can click on forgot password and then reset it over there. If we go back on the dashboard, we see several tiles and also this Lysande Technology AB. This is my customer I'm assigned to, Lysande, and it's structured this way. Um, this is a functional location, so the top level functional location is in 99% your customer's organization, the name of the organization, and below it's sometimes structured via cost center or via plant or hall, anything that contains equipments. That's called functional location in our world. So over here you see the Lysande technology and below the plant Karlstadt and the plant Christianstadt, for example. If I click on plant Karlstadt, what's happening is you go on a sub-level functional location, therefore you only have 177 equipments on plant Karlstadt or below on any functional location below this plant Karlstadt. If you go back, you see it sums up. So this is why you should leave on your profile summation of key figures on yes, so it summarizes. Otherwise, you would get over here just the ones that are in this specific functional location. Okay, so if we go on some functional location. You saw the structure, and therefore I want to show you what is over here in these tiles. It's basically just some filter of equipments. Over here you have the percentage which are ready to use, the managed equipment with equipments, and also the ones that are not in use, the status of the last inspection, which is okay with notifications, not okay, and also the equipments that are in stock, that are locked, that are in the recycle bin, expired, which are due soon or already due, and also the functional locations. This is just statistical, which are below this data processing center. So you have over here 8 functional locations that are below. The most common tile you might want to click on is download certificates. I said, like, for example, I want to download all the certificates that are done so far this year. So I'm now, of course, on data processing center and added the filter of this inspection term. So if I click on download, I only get the certificates to this data processing center. You might want to do it for the whole customer Lysande, but you also can do it for specific functional locations. You then get an email. It's already there. Great. I'm just clicking on it. And a zip file, which contains all the PDF files with the certificates, is generated. This takes a little, unfortunately. But basically, you get the download URL and just click on download it, and then it's right on your files. Okay, when I go back on the data processing center, or well, let's go back to Lysande, I might want to search for a specific equipment. In this case, I prepared this one, this lift kit electric chain hoist. You can search for either the tag ID, which is most common to search for, like this. I added some over here. You can click right here or show all results if there are more results, like if you just enter lift kit in this case. Then you get to the equipment. Over here you have different menu buttons, and these buttons are defined by the rights you have. So in my case, of course, I gave me more rights to show you today more detailed what you can do. But if you only have the right to read the equipment portal, you might not have this edit button, for example. Therefore, it's less buttons over here in the top. Also, the add inspection and add inventory button is only available if you have the right to add inspections. But what you can see in this view is all the details to this specific equipment, which is, for example, the inventory number, the tag ID. You can add whatever number you want to identify this equipment. You have an object type, which is an electric chain hoist in this case, the status, the inspection result, which automatically is driven from the inspection, so you don't have to add anything over here. You can add manufacturer, part number, serial number, type. This is no mandatory field, but of course, the more information you enter over here, the more you can search for. The month of construction and the year of construction is also possible, but not mandatory. But what's mandatory is the inspection interval. In this case, it's an annual inspection and a resubmission notification. This means that 2 months before it's due to inspection, it will get over here in the inspection preview. I'm going back to the equipment. Below over here, you see the parameters, which is basically drawn from the object type. Um, in this case, the electric chain hoist have, for example, operating voltage and all that stuff. If you have a crane, the parameters would look kind of different. Um, in the next tab, you might add some documents, for example, a user manual, if you have the right to do so also. For example, user instructions, or anything you just want to add as document to this specific equipment. And if you click then on inspections, in this case, let's look at another equipment, and yes, this one has more inspections. Therefore, you see who did the inspection and also what kind of inspection it was, and over here download the certificate. Therefore, it's in your file, and you get the PDF right away from this specific equipment. If it is like before, you saw the download in the tile of the certificates, it could be included in there too, if it's in the filter you set before. Okay, also when you click on this inspection, you get the details, the certificates, and it might also have some further documents like images the inspector took or other documents, just for information. The comments, it explains itself. You can comment anything on the equipment and the change log. Over here it says what has been done with this equipment. In this example, added to order multiple times. As you see, you might also see what has been changed in what time or anything, so you can see the changes. If I now go into edit mode because I want to change anything, at the moment it's in task laboratory, so it might be the case that I want to move this equipment to another, for example, to the data processing center. As you can see here, it's not that great to give the same name to several functional locations. You should just name it Data Processing Center A or B to be unique. So in this case, I change it to the functional location Data Processing Center, and I might also, let's copy that one, um, might also change the working load limit. I'm clicking on saving, and now you see it has been moved. I'm now currently in the data processing center. In the change log, you have my change, so I updated the equipment. And if I then go on the data processing center and I'm clicking on managed equipments, I will find the magnet over here, what we just had a look at. Okay, so now what you saw is editing in equipment. You might now want to delete one equipment. You can do so over here. And if I then click on deleting, I have the equipment right here in the recycle bin. I can also restore the equipment, and I can lock the equipment over here. I can also copy the equipment if I have the same equipment twice but with another tech ID. But also if I want to add a new equipment, I can either copy it or over here on the function location, add a new equipment which has the same effect, but you have to add more data. So for example, I'm giving a magnet with a random tag ID. I have the functional location data processing center, the object type. This one is a magnet. And this is basically it, what I have to enter. The inspection interval is fine for me. And this is how I add a new equipment. Okay, this way, if I just copy the tag ID to show you how you can search for it, you will find also the same equipment via the search. Normally you have the tag ID written down on your equipment so you can find any equipment you like and also see all the information that it has. If you want to search for it via property, in this case, we haven't given it any properties. Let's do so. It's a permanent magnet and with a working load limit of 100 kilo. If I go now on magnet, let's choose 100. And now I can search for all the magnets I have throughout all functional locations with the working load limit from 100 kilo. And over here, I got those two. And yes, this way you can just have a look what your type of equipment you have and structure it also. So this was basically it, the video of the introduction. If you have further questions, don't hesitate to click on our help center. It's help.karlstahl.com. Over here you have the equipment portal, for example, to see different documentation about how to add a new equipment, edit equipment, download certificates, and any possible question you might have. You can also search for it, delete equipment, for example, or delete and inactivate users, and you will get the info right away. So I hope this was helpful for you, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have further questions.